Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Anime Night in the Dojo. Today's featured show, Gachiakuta, Season 1.
Yep, Gachiakuta, Season 1, Episode 15. Welcome back to the dojo. I'm Ryu. That's Age. We're back for more Anime Night in the dojo, and well, you see that stare down? Classic. The classic. Gotta appreciate it. It's a classic Clash stare down. And you know, this episode title is Clash. So there you go. Enough said. We could just move on with our day, right? But that being said, there are some, characters that, on both sides that we have not seen anything of yet. So this is going to be a showcase of stuff we have no idea about, which is always fun.
Yeah, we have a number of wild cards on both sides. We have all of Team Child, and then we have freaking 3 new Raiders.
Yep. And potentially whatever Rudo is able to get his hands on to fight, which they're in an empty janitor's closet. So who knows? You know what I mean? That was the other thing we got last time was Kathani's janitor's closet. That's why all these holes are on the wall. So, yeah.
Yeah, we originally speculated that it was just some, portal from one point to another, but no, apparently she has a whole freaking pocket dimension in her manhole that she can use to go from place to place.
Yep. So,
and it's probably where they've been hiding their base.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of hard to find. It's kind of hard to find something that doesn't exist in normal space, and if you can't get into said other space, then it's kind of like Steven's lion. Only Steven can go in. So about it, or people connected to Steven, but any kind of dimension like that. Nobody else can open up Makoto's item box. That kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, looking forward to the madness. Jumping right back into it. It'll be interesting to see how the name, it's gone. It's gone. It's totally gone. The claw guy.
Jabber.
Yeah, Jabber. I kept wanting to say, since we were dealing with potentially Jack the Ripper in Has-Been, I wanted to say that. It's like, that doesn't sound right. It has a slightly different sound to it. And yeah, that's what it is, Jabber. How he fights in like a team setting, that kind of thing. If his other claws actually do something else that we haven't seen yet. Obviously, we've only seen the 2. But, yeah, there's all kinds of interesting stuff on the wall here. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say going into this. So we'll push some buttons and get going here. So people on Patreon, we'll see you on the other side of the edit for the timer stuff. And people on YouTube, we'll see you on the other side of the edit for the discussion and review. And as always, if you're looking for the other thing, it's in the other place, Patreon and or YouTube. And every link is linked everywhere. So you guys can find it. You'll figure it out. You're on the internet. You know how to push buttons. So speaking of buttons, let's push them and get going here. So there goes something. Well, alrighty then. There you have it. You can absolutely hold somebody hostage in a conversation like this. Yeah, that's one way to have it look, with the chain coming out of his mouth. Very magic trick like, right? You know how those magicians can pull all the handkerchiefs or whatever they are out of their or the little flags out of just from. It's a gross trick. I don't like it. But good thing Husk didn't use that one in his fight against the V's, because that would have been a little gross. He did the card stuff and then the sword box thing. This one is just gross. Good thing it is just, not actually happening. Just the wild imaginings of Rudo kind of thing. So, either way, solid episode for what it was. We had the one-on-ones being set up. A couple of them are in kind of unknown situations. We have Zonka and Jabber going off again. Rio is fighting the chick with electrified hair, which, yeah, I guess electrified hair beats scissors, but once again, she was talking about static and plastic and stuff like that. It's like, well, I mean, if your scissors aren't made out of metal, then, or something that conducts electricity, then, you know, obviously Rios are made out of metal, so that's kind of a problem. But there are still ways around it, where she said, you know, she's in a situation where she doesn't want to fight people, probably based on her backstory, stuff that we've kind of theorized on already. But if she can't cut her hair, then guess what? the body's fair game. Scissors, especially hers, can still be used as a stabbing instrument. She doesn't necessarily have to cut. And scissors are a more multi-purpose tool than people might think, based on their freedom of movement and stuff like that. They can also, well, you can think about it, she could just turn around, and with the way she uses her scissors, she doesn't actually wield them like a weapon. The way she wields them is through thought. So she could just turn the damn things around and use them as a blunt object. You know what I mean? Which the back side of her scissors, like the handles where you usually stick your fingers, might not be metal. That might be the plastic part of it. You know what I mean? While her scissors do like the very traditional old school, like just full set metal scissors that don't have like the plastic handling or like a wood handling, you know what I mean, or the actual like where you would be holding it on the non-blade end. She could still do that. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the way she controls that weapon, if she's not touching it, there's nowhere for the electricity to conduct into her body. You know what I mean? If her scissors are making contact with her, and she's not in contact with her scissors, then it doesn't matter. Unless there's some weird feedback that your weapon sends all its damage back to the wielder, which got nothing on that for the vital instruments. So
yeah, no, there hasn't been any sort of indication of anything like that. We just know that it's a massive endeavor to replace your vital instrument if it does get destroyed.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how that fight plays out. But we've definitely set up a bunch of different random things here. Obviously, the whole Zonka thing, you know, they went back and like rehashed most of that stuff. But obviously, the biggest thing that came out of this, there were two big things that came out of this fight here was Jabber is able to just test new toxins, despite what they are.
He's able to change the toxins of his claws through exposure.
Yep. So that's a pretty big deal. That's why, in the case of whatever this stuff is, some form of acid waste. Well, yeah, some sort of acid waste that's just kind of it's kind of a thing that like a bog, you know, like a swamp that just kind of accumulates underground and just it becomes a thing, like the completely like wasted down trash that has like become like just goo, you know what I mean, just probably turned into this like viscous nasty fluid, you know what I mean, just based on, you know, however long the trash was there and just coalesced into this new form of just toxic material. So one would assume that as long as it's toxic in nature, Jabber can control it and, you know, use it as a weapon. So that was obviously a pretty big deal. Just kind of like getting stuff on the fly for him. But, you know, here at the end is the fact that, you know, now we can make a Bankai joke.
Well, the bigger reference here is that apparently Jabber is like Kenpachi.
Yeah.
And that he deliberately holds his vital instrument back to make the fights more interesting, and this is his actual vital instrument.
Right. So that's kind of interesting. It's what was the other guy from Bleach that kind of he was Kenpachi's like the Yumichika, he does it too, where he calls out his sword's incorrect name, so it only just comes out as like just the blades and not like the magic weapon that it is, like the caster weapon that it is.
Yeah. Yeah, he calls it by a name that isn't just wrong, but that he knows insults it and that it hates.
Yeah. So that's probably something to this effect, but in the case of Jabber, he's probably just not releasing it fully. You know what I mean? He has 2 stages, like he said, where he can use stage 1 for what he was already using it for, and then he can fully release it into this madness. He's a human Beyblade at this point, I guess. So that's kind of a problem. That's not only does that increase his destructive power across the board, but one would assume that the claws can already still do what they were already doing.
Yeah, I assume Toxin is still related, but they're significantly larger now, so they have a lot more force behind them and are just a lot more reach too because of their size. Plus, they seem to be like floating connected to like the cords, so he potentially has even more range with them in that sense.
Yep. So, hopefully for Zonka's sake, he has a phase 2, but this is the first iteration of anything like this that we've gotten, so we don't know if that's a thing or what, or if Jabber is unique. Who knows? But
I believe this is more of a thing to Jabber because, like I said, the Kenpachi connection, I have heard of people talk about that, how like he is someone who deliberately holds back, but he's actually extremely strong. And like I mentioned before, that he's like a cockroach villain and that he just keeps coming back and getting involved in shit even when it's not really related to the Raiders.
Right. Just kind of like that Team Rocket. Yeah, he's always going to be around. You're just going to have to deal with it. Him and his annoying bullshit. So it'll be interesting to see how this fight goes if Zonka can pull something out, obviously. But again, they are underground, so cave collapse is always a way out of it. You know what I mean? the classic, use the environment to your advantage, kind of like he did earlier in the fight when he dropped the pool of crap on him. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So they are underground, so a classic mind collapse could be in the works here for any of them.
Yeah.
Engine's in a weird situation. I mean,
he's stuck in a 1v1 versus an opponent who doesn't want to actually fight him.
Yes, this is very Sun Eater from MHA. Just if he says he wants to go home, then it's just the same guy, right? but he's one of those characters, so it will be kind of interesting to see like what his deal is. But this will probably be coming later because we've already kind of established probably what the showcase fights are going to be for the next episode at the very least, with Rio, Rudo, and then what's going on Zonka and Jabber. So the other ones will be
I imagine Zonka and Jabber will probably be the main focus of next episode, and then Noarde versus Rio.
Yep. So lots of 1v1s. So my whole team dynamic discussion is completely shattered and thrown out the window. Thanks a lot. Didn't want that theory anyway.
Let's get you question Noarde's name, but her name is Noarde Emozo, aka Amazon.
Yeah. So there's your other mythological connection, because the other one in Segway and the Crunchyroll player, yes, this had sexual violence. Thank you. Maybe not this episode, but that was what it was. But either way, this guy, the Raider leader, he's Typhon.
Zodal Typhon.
Classic.
What? Yeah, Typhon is more Greek mythology. It's the father of all monsters.
Yep. So there's another one. We didn't get obviously either the very shy guy's name or the big buff guy in the hat, but they're probably going to be mythological in nature as well. Is I can't imagine they're going to have all these mythological things and then just be like, yeah, that's Dave. That'd be funny.
The true mythological being, Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm. That would show him. That'd be pretty hilarious. But in all seriousness, as funny as it would be if they just were like, yeah, that's Dave. If it was more or less, they're probably all going to be mythological in nature one way or another. Since they've already they've already established that. So it'll be interesting to see who each one is tied to. We have another Greek one, Amazon, obviously. Jabber being kind of like a weird outlier that's not really connected to really anything.
Well, Jabberwocky.
Yeah.
But that's not like a specific mythology. Yeah. That's just fictional because that's Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's not really connected to like a major kind of mythology like Greek or Norse or Japanese or whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll get like an Egyptian one. Maybe we can put up like the list. Who knows? Maybe I'm gonna go with the shy guy will be Egyptian mythology, and the guy in the hat will randomly be like Hindi or something. You know, something like that. One of those like weird Hindi personas that are out there, like Hecaton Kairos. There you go. And then the Joker VA can mispronounce it again.
Hecatonkeries.
Yeah. So those are my predictions, and then it'll be like something super weird, like maybe like an Irish thing or something. I mean, something really out there that nobody thinks about. Maybe it'll be like one of like a totemist thing or something like that. Who knows? Maybe they'll do like a deep pull that nobody will freaking understand, and we'll have to look it up. But
pull a Nucklivy out of nowhere.
Yeah, something like that. But either way, not really a huge amount more I can really say about this one. I mean, the matchups are set. Obviously, Typhon here trying to, gauge like what Rudo is trying to do, trying to like shake his faith in the cleaners, that kind of thing. And it kind of brings up like an interesting point, is like, so you're just taking them for their word. They're the first people you met, and you know what I mean? But again, they bailed him out. What the hell was he supposed to do? Question them at every turn, or accept their help and just see what happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, once again, like, well, yeah, there is the whole thing of like, don't just take everyone's stuff at face value, but also like
they weren't attacking him, so
yeah,
I mean,
by comparison, like Engine saved him and helped him a whole bunch and stuff like that, and then he's already getting close relationships with a bunch of other characters like Rio and whatnot. Meanwhile, the Raiders, every opportunity they've had has been just aggression towards them.
Yeah, so it's one of those things like, well, I don't know, man. I mean, they weren't trying to kill me, so I mean, I could question their motives, sure, but
Zodal here is literally like the first one who's actually tried to legitimately talk to him.
Yeah. So, I mean, just trying from the other perspective is like, Typhon has a point. But again, what the hell are you supposed to do? You have no connections. You just dropped to the ground. These people actually helped me. So, I don't know. I might as well see where that goes as opposed to, being sold off and attacked constantly. So, what would you do, man? It's like, well, what if something bad happens to you? I really, really need to bust out that Steven Universe clip. I have to go get it this weekend. It has to be done because it's one of those things where it's becoming more and more relevant in the more stuff we do, where it's just, you see all these characters that are just like, well, I can't do this. What if something bad happens? It's like, well, what if something good happens? Then what? So yeah, we're gonna need that clip on tap like constantly now, especially with the stuff that's going on in Has-Been. So, but it's relevant here too. So it's just one of those things where, while Typhon does have a point, that the cleaners could absolutely be playing some weird long game and just trying to like earn his trust. That's a way to, screw somebody over, just use Rudo to get to the sphere or whatever. He does have a point that could be happening in theory, no matter what the situation is. But again, in Rudo's situation, rock in a hard place. What are you going to choose? The people trying to kill you, or the moth accosting you during your recording, or what?
Yeah, I mean, not to say that the cleaners are totally trustworthy either, because, like, we still don't know what the hell's up with their boss.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I'm still like 80% sure that Tomsy is actually the angel.
Yeah. There's always going to be potential bad eggs in any organization, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's one of those theories that adds up from the stuff that we've seen so far. So, you know, we'll just have to see how that pans out. Maybe it'll be a season 1 thing. We still got, plenty of episodes to go this season. A little over half. Or a little under half, but, like 45%, somewhere in there. But, it seems feasible based on the information that we've got. So, we'll just have to see where that goes. The other major thing that kind of came out of this was their tech. The Jokers.
Yeah.
You would think that they wouldn't have this problem. Like Rio pointed out, maybe they should fix that. But I guess the technology, just like cell phones in a way, it doesn't work underground. It's
just like it is interfered with by solid objects. So when you're surrounded by solid objects, it doesn't really work.
Yeah. So that's interesting, I guess. That's something to keep an eye on in the future if they work on that or whatever. But yeah, I mean, not really a huge amount more I can say about this episode. It was good. It set up a bunch of 1v1s, shattered my team thought, so that's fun. So don't have to worry about team fighting anymore. That's cool. We have to have the classic shonen 1v1 off, So, yeah.
I don't know when we're supposed to get it. I think this might be it, but you talk about like Zonka having a second phase. There is another ability of Rio's that I am interested to see how they implement and when they implement.
Got it.
We'll have to see if that's potentially what she uses to counteract the electric hair shenanigans.
Right. Being electrocuted is not fun, I assure you. So, anyway, again, bunch of stuff on the table. Interesting characters, pretty much everything you want. I can only imagine being in that recording session as Engine. Hey. We're just gonna need you to be a pest for like a minute straight.
he did say the alternate title of the episode.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, for real.
Yeah, hey, for real. I mean, it's these kinds of situations is just, it's kind of interesting to see a character that does that. It's just like, you're not going to give him a chance to respond. You're just going to keep poking him. Though we didn't see the initial interaction. He could have just said, hey, what's your deal? And then there could have been like dead silence for like a minute. And now he's just poking him.
Yeah, he knows he got separated with this guy and that this guy's a potential threat, so he can't just exactly walk away, but also he's refusing to engage.
Yeah. So either way, lots of interesting stuff going on. So, we'll just have to see where this goes from here. Who fights where, what Rudo is going to potentially do. The Rudo thing was also answered that he has, like a little bag of tricks on his belt there that he can use for just.
Yeah,
whatever.
we established that with the Yamo stuff, like leading into that. But yeah, apparently he only has a few things left because he hasn't got a chance to restock since the Yamo expedition.
Right. So, and again, the boots are on the table as what could potentially be done with them. Can somebody wield 2 series items at once? That kind of deal. What could the backlash be? Is there like a counter to backlash? What would it do? You know what I mean? And we still have to see what Typhon is capable of outside of grabbing people by the neck twice.
Yeah, he still hasn't shown off what the jacket can do.
Yep. So, anyway, that's all I got. Jabber's looking very cool. So, you got anything else, Age?
No, not really.
Alrighty then. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube, beyond whoever watching, as always, we appreciate you stopping by and hanging with us here in the dojo for more anime night in the dojo. It's Gachiakuta, Season 1, Episode 15. The episode with 2 names. So, have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is for you. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Hey everyone, Victoria here. If you enjoyed the video, please consider pushing those like and subscribe buttons. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks again for your time, and we hope to see you again in the future.